Welcome back to the Wanted Podcast. This is episode 2 of our comeback journey. As we all know from the last episode, we lost our channel, but we are back and we are ready to get back into action. So let us start off the first topic, Tony.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Gear 5 DLC in Pirate Warriors, and was it underwhelming in terms of the moveset that we were given? I gotta say, when you compare it to the anime, which of course you're watching an animation and it's not a game, they can't make it look like an animation. The moveset was a little lackluster. I'm glad we got our Bajrang gun. I'm glad we got his film red attack, which I think they just called "This Is My Peak" in the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a name, which kind of sucks, but not too bad in terms of the actual moves. But I gotta say, the combos are kind of repetitive, and it's not really a bad thing. I'm glad he's got Gigant as a combo attack, and the other ones just kind of feel like very fillery.
Yeah.
Because I think he could have had, for example, the muscle form. Like, I think we said this last time. That was a very much a missed opportunity, though that is more of an anime original thing. Because he used it in the manga, but it wasn't as like prominent as it was in the anime. It's always hard to tell what they're basing these games off of, because the devs are manga readers. They kind of have to be, because you're making a One Piece game, and tend to spoil things. We know that they spoil things, so they probably didn't have this character made in mind of just the anime. It was probably mostly manga based, and if we're going based off the manga, the moveset is for the time that it's coming out right now, it's accurate. Because we only just recently have been getting new stuff, and we can assume that this has been in production for quite some time for this game.
Yeah, most definitely we can. I think, because even all the moves that he does in this game, he's done it in the manga. Like him spitting out the ground, stuff where you do his 3-strike triangle attack when he becomes giant, eats the ground and spits it out. He's done that in the manga.
Yeah, so it's good for manga readers, but I think if you're just going into it thinking, I'm going to play as Gear 5 from the anime, no, you're going to be very disappointed, because it is very faithful to what we first saw him do in Gear 5 in the manga. And then again, in the manga, it's just, single image panels.
Yeah.
Your mind, your imagination fills in the blanks, but it's still overall, not bad. A little underwhelming if you were expecting more like what you saw in the anime, but they did a good job. You can really tell that they took their time with Yamato, with those animations. They're very clean compared to Gear 5 and Hybrid Kaido, because obviously Yamato had been established for so long. They certainly were already planning to have her as DLC. I think that they were originally going to release her earlier on. However, they were like, might as well just release with our other planned character pass, which is why she's just so refined.
I'm a firm believer that she was probably in development, early game development, probably just a scrapped character at that.
It was most likely that, because you really got to think. So this game, I doubt these games take very long to develop. Not to any discredit to the developers, but Warriors games, it's very simple in terms of mechanics. So this game came out 2020. Was Yamato already established in the manga by then? I do believe so. I think. And if anything, she was definitely early on, probably a planned DLC. Because not even Odin was base game in this one. He was DLC, which makes sense. He's a flashback character to have as DLC. But in general, yeah, she's definitely been in development for quite some time, because she is the most refined and the most clearly thought out character, because she is very fun to play as.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. She just has so much moves and so much depth to her. One of my favorite attacks actually is the triangle attack in the air. because it keeps your momentum. It's one of the first moves that's able to do that in the game. Where if you're dashing and you hit it, you keep your momentum instead of stopping midair.
Yeah, I really do love that because it's very easy to then combo. So what I like to do is I knock him in the air. I do the 2 strike, then triangle. When she pulls out the club, it smashes downward. Kind of like Kaido has a similar air one. And then I cancel with a dash into the air triangle because then it just takes you all the way to the ground. You start rolling and you can continue your combo. And then from there, I do the 3 strike, then triangle, triangle spam, which does the tornado. Then jump again, and then do the 3 strike triangle, which does a spinning tag to the ground. And it finishes off the combo. It's just very satisfying to pull off because, like I said, she's very well thought out and well, designed character in terms of the moveset. She probably has the most, I want to say, like, when you play as her, you don't feel like you're playing as the other characters, where like you can play as another character, and as long as you know how to play the game, you get a feel for it very quick, and they kind of feel like a tad bit samey.
Yeah, she doesn't have that samey factor to it, but yeah, and overall, I think the Gear 5 DLC was a bit underwhelming. We was missing a lot of the muscle form. I was actually pretty stoked for that, and we were just, I think what it is just that they gave us a sneak peek. I don't think this is just the definitive Gear 5 for the Pirate Warriors franchise. I'm sure they're gonna expand upon it next game, and they just gave us something to fill in the time.
Yeah, that's most likely what was happening. So that's good. So what should we expect from these other upcoming DLC characters? So we know we've got Shanks from Film Red and then Film Red Kobe, which I don't think they would give Kobe Honesty Impact. Even though we know they love to spoil, I don't think they're going to go that far. It's probably just going to be his base game, like what we see him as the NPC Kobe do in the game. And then a little bit more.
I think that's what it is too, but I hope not. But I mean, it would make the most sense to just be like, all right, let's give him some of these base moves we had. This triangle is gonna be like that little kick thing that he does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just shit like that. It will still be good. I think his will be a little bit fun to play as. And then we've got Shanks, which, as long as it's not just reskin a Shanks with like a new Conqueror's hockey attack. I'm sure he's gonna have that lion thing that he did. He's probably gonna have that. Kind of like how Luffy has his Film Red attack for Gear 5.
The thing is,
other than that, I'm not really sure.
I know for a fact they're going to go the route of. They're going to go the route of what they did with Luffy with Shanks, bro. And it's like, what else are they, like, when you really think about it, what else are they gonna add to Shanks? Like, unless they pull up like a Pirate Warriors 3 and they give him just a crazy good moveset, add back.
You could give him Divine Departure, but I mean it's not too far away from where they are in in the anime. They really could. Now, if they're really gonna release the next one, like not too close from now, if they wait quite a bit to release it, not too long though, you probably will have already seen Divine Departure in the anime. And if anything, they're gonna release it once we see that. Because, they didn't release Gear 5 until I think, was it like the day of Ajran Gun actually hitting? I think it was. Yeah. In the mobile game, they already had Gear 5, but I think that was because it got leaked. So they already saw the moveset. That's what I think happened, because I saw it got leaked. And then, obviously it's coming to the game. It's not like a super crazy leak, but it was just showing a bunch of moves that hadn't yet been shown in the anime with full voice lines too. So,
oh yeah,
it's something we're just gonna have to see, like what they'll do. And again, it's Pirate Warriors. For all we know, they're just gonna do it regardless.
So,
But so now, like specifically, right? Young Garp, Rayleigh, and Roger. What are you thinking this is gonna look like?
Young Garp. Okay, let's start off with the Garp. I think for a fact this is going to be probably the best DLC pack. I feel like all of them are going to have a powerhouse sort of vibe to it. Like, I think Mihawk is going to, not Mihawk, I think Rayleigh is going to be very similar to Mihawk and Shanks, where he charges up his attacks. And probably Roger too. But Garp, I don't know, honestly. I think he's just going to be like, I hope they don't pull a Pirate Warriors 3 Garp and then they just give him like, you know, his little cannon things and he just throws them the whole time.
That was Burning Blood Garp too.
Yeah.
It was just really just he was a brawler and then he had some like gimmicky attacks.
I want Garp to be a speed type. I let's talk about the types actually. I think
that isn't important. We should talk about the types for that.
I think Garp, they're either gonna pull like a hybrid Kaido and make him like a speed type, just to divulge our, you know, our what's it called, our expectations, right? Make him a speed type or something, or they're gonna make him a power type. Those are the honest two I think they're gonna do.
To be honest, I kind of see what you're saying. Like I could definitely see, for example, like you would think Roger, right, would probably be a power type, but I could see him being a speed type just based off of him, like how he would charge against Odin and Whitebeard. I could see that like being like a speed type. And then again, you could also assume that Garp would be a power type and they can make him a speed type. Because it's also the fact that we don't know a whole lot about young Garp.
That too, and we don't
so
know
if
a
anything,
lot about young Roger too.
It might just spoil some stuff. Hopefully they don't pull a Shanks with Roger, but they might, and he's just gonna have generic sword attacks as his moves. He's gonna have Divine Departure, but we'll see. Because, I mean, maybe they might show some stuff.
I think they're gonna pull a Shanks, but I think he's gonna be a bit more Roger's moveset. I think he's going to be ultimately a technique type. I think that'll make it a bit more different.
Yeah, honestly, technique for Roger makes the most sense.
Because he could just have...
Or if anything, technique for Rayleigh, bro.
But I think his moveset is going to be sort of like Hybrid Kaido's, where he doesn't have a whole bunch of, like, after triangle attacks. It's just going to be, like, one hit with his triangle attack, or it's just going to be either, like, a big hit. Because Hybrid Kaido doesn't have any triangle hit combos, like, after pressing square. He only either does, like, one move. But he has so many of them, though. I think that's how they're going to go with him.
I could see Roger playing, like, Odin and Shanks combined. You know how Odin has all those slashes with the Conqueror's Haki? I think something like that, and then with Shanks is more... Because, like, Odin's using two swords, but with the Shanks, kind of more one sword approach. Something like that we could see from Roger. That would just make the most sense, to be honest. Now, Rayleigh is the tricky one. Because... we only know we think we know just barely for Roger, but even though we've seen Rayleigh more, we still don't really have a grasp. We know he's a swordsman, obviously, but how would they adapt that? Because he knows all three types of hockey. Correct? He has Conquerors, correct? I do believe he does. I mean, he's the Dark King.
He has Conquerors hockey.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. So. Yeah, if he's training Luffy, he's gonna have to know them all. But then, I think they're gonna give him like Conqueror's Haki Walk. I think if anything, he's gonna get Conqueror's Haki Walk like Shanks from Pirate Warriors 3.
I can see that. I think what they're gonna do is, for his Conqueror's Haki move, he's probably gonna sit down, sort of how he did. But this isn't old Rayleigh we're talking about. That would make sense for old Rayleigh because he's
this is young Rayleigh.
This is young Rayleigh, so I actually see him having more of a, I'd say, have you ever played as Tashigi in this game? like fully
No,
upgraded?
I've actually like tried to. Every time I say I'm gonna do it, I don't.
Yeah, I think he's gonna play like Tashigi mixed with Mihawk. Yes, the elegance of Tashigi, but like the devastation that Mihawk has when he upgrades his swords. I think he's gonna have that sword upgrade thing as well. I don't think Roger is, only because like it wouldn't. I would say it wouldn't make sense because he technically isn't like known to be a swordsman, from what we know.
Yeah, but it's kind of one of those things you can assume.
Hmm. Everybody's a swordsman, but it's like he's not. He never had the greatest swordsman title because he had the Pirate King title. Somebody else did, which I think was his right hand man. Well, I'm sure he has other things to his arsenal. I think the way Roger's fighting is gonna look is gonna be very similar to Luffy's, more similar than we think, right? You would think that Garp, because he has a lot of fists, Luffy uses his fists, it would be Garp. But I think the overall vibe of Roger's attacks will be very Luffy-like, where he's just like either doing some random shit or just having a very fun time while fighting.
Yeah, I definitely think his taunt is gonna be just laughing.
Yeah,
That
he's
makes
gonna
the
have
most
a lot
sense.
of laughing, bro. And the thing is, not a lot of people realize this, but bro, Roger is like almost the size of Whitebeard, bro. He's as tall as Katakuri. Like, I never
Yeah,
realized that,
you also got to think because like he was going toe to toe with Odin, and like knowing how tall people are in Wano.
bro. Roger is like tall as shit, bro. Like I thought he was like Luffy height, but like, dude, this nigga is almost as tall as Whitebeard. If you look at the anime, bro, they're like almost standing right next to each other in height.
Exactly.
Now there obviously is a clear size difference, but dude, bro, this nigga's as tall as like Katakuri. It's gonna be crazy to think about, like, because you would think he's as tall as Luffy playing in the game, especially. I'd say they're probably gonna compress his size probably down to like the admirals.
Yeah, most likely. That's probably what they're gonna do. Yeah. But Odin they still made him pretty big.
Yeah. So like admiral size.
It just depends on the
the
like
direction.
the goal, like if they want to, because obviously Big Mom in this game isn't as big as how she actually is.
Oh yeah, she
Kaido
is.
too.
Kaido is
They
much
still
smaller.
make them seem huge, especially when you're playing as them.
But one thing I like though about this game, and this is just gonna diverge the topic for one quick second. One thing I like though about this game in particular is like the Pirate Warriors franchise is that they all the tall characters are their own size. Like if you look at the admirals standing next to each other, they are their own size as well. Like yeah, like it's not like they was like, all right, we just need a tall character, tall, all having the same height. Like Kaido is a little bit taller than Big Mom, like in the anime. Katakuri isn't as tall as Whitebeard. It's just like they all have their own heights and their own style to everything.
Yeah.
That's something that's cool too. But
That's good. But
with,
see, the
with
thing
all
is, this is the only good One Piece game out right now.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I was about to ask. With all the new One Piece content that's coming out, I have a question. What is your ideal One Piece game?
Personally, as much as I just want a fighting game that's good, it would be very nice to, steer away from the traditional, it's an anime, let's give it a fighting game type situation. I want a more open world online. Not as generic as like Sea of Thieves only went so far, but kind of like that with you can explore a massive ocean. As you could have a pirate crew, or you could be a marine if you wanted to. I think that would be good.
So
And then just an online lobby.
okay, so like basically
And the
this.
story mode could work too.
Basically this, bro. Literally this is exactly what you're looking for. A One Piece Xenoverse.
Yeah, something like that.
The thing is though, the free roam probably is going to be limited. that is, see, the thing about that is a game that is going to have to be in production for years to come. Like probably,
Yeah.
we're
So
not
that's
gonna
the
see.
thing is it's almost like I'm willing to wait, but it's more so like
I think
the
that's end of
how they want to
series.
make anime games just has to change.
I think that's end of series type game right now. Honestly, my I have two. My ideal game for a One Piece game, bro, is one, a fighters esque game where it's like a very competitive fighter. I think that's one thing we are missing now, for at least especially for this anime, is like an actual fighting game where you can hop online and actually be good at it, not just like a fake rank like a certain One's Justice game.
Yeah.
Like, you don't level up by just playing the game. You actually have to be good at what you do, or else you lose points. you know, and I think that is very crucial because we have so much content. I believe that if a one like it would be better. No offense, bro, but I think a One Piece fighters game or just a One Piece fighting game, if done perfectly, can be probably better than any Dragon Ball Z fighting game out there, bro.
I agree
The
because I
thing
mean I'm
is,
just not as big as a Dragon Ball fan, so I would always prefer a game that if it was the same thing but One Piece, I'm gonna choose that one.
the
But
reason why I say that, right, is because One Piece, unlike Dragon Ball and Naruto and all these other games like Bleach, One Piece has such an intricate system that if playing in a very competitive way, where it's like you could pick out three characters, and it's not just like no Burning Blood situation where they can just loop you the entire game. Something that actually has a a nice system where there's no loopholes, everything is perfect, sort of like a Tenkaichi game or something, right? It
so would you want a 3D fighter or a 2D fighter, or the 2.5D? That's like 2.5D is what fighters is, but technically it's still a 2D fighter.
either one, honestly, and I'm saying that it's just because the system that we have in One Piece would work so well if it
See,
just
that's
had a
that's the
good
thing I loved about Burning Blood was that I did like how the hockey and the Logias, Armisia, all that stuff. I liked how that was done. At least like they were
yeah,
they were
to
going
an
in the right
extent.
direction.
To an extent,
To an
they
extent,
went in the right
they were
direction.
going in the right direction. They didn't get there, but definitely the way that they were setting it up was like if this was refined, this would have been really good and not just
Yeah,
very rock paper scissory.
it's more rewarding that way. It's like, oh damn, I'm literally only a I have all Conqueror's hockey users, but this guy has Paramecia and Logia. So it's like, oh man, I have to actually like use my brain in this fight because the people that I have are direct counters to him, and vice versa. It's like it would make such a good fighting game because not only does matchups kind of matter, but it would also add much more skill. And it's like even if they can make it to a point where it's like everything is all fair for beginners, right? Sort of like fighters, right? Everything is all fair. But when you learn certain techniques and movements and just the way to just control your character and learn how to control your hockey and learn how to do certain things in that aspect, right? It would be so much crazier on the competitive scheme because it's like, yeah, everything is basically all fair all around, but like you can use your hockey in a certain way or conserve your hockey a certain way where it would be basically unstoppable to the basic noob, if you get what I'm saying, like sort of how fighters
Yeah,
is.
exactly. And the rank system would feel a lot more deserved if you actually had to be good at multiple kinds of matchups. Because again, with something like three characters, everyone's going to be trying out different things. Your matchups most likely, unless there is a defined meta, will not be the same, which is good. It's refreshing. People are going to want to interchange how things work. The skills from Burning Blood where you had those little assists that you could activate to do things, not bad idea. I think having just the characters should be enough. If implemented correctly, I think they could do something like that. Like you could choose to maybe sacrifice a character for a reusable skill, something like that. But that would be an excellent game, I think. I think that's for that. Let's talk about what's going on in the manga right now, because we lightly covered it last time. It's getting pretty interesting. We've got our first actual admiral fight that's warranted.
Like actually shown. besides like obviously Marineford, like this is the first admiral fight we've actually seen where it wasn't just like a one-off like Green Bull where it was like, oh fuck, Shanks, my ass, and then leaves. No, we actually are seeing people fight. Finally.
Yes, and the way it's going so far, the real question is this gonna be Luffy distracts Kizaru and then they make their escape? Or is this like Kizaru's gotta go at the end of this fight? Like, because if we're at the because we see in the chapter he just slips away from Luffy. He goes to choke the weakest Straw Hat, which like, sure, he's getting the job done as quick as he can. I'll just go for the weak guy first, one out of the way. So he goes to choke Usopp, and it's just
thing is, right?
He's like threatening the crew, so it's like, what's going on here?
This fight isn't going to be taken seriously. It is not supposed to be, narratively speaking. But you know how One Piece fans are. Certain fans, they just are like, oh man, it'll be like one chapter, Luffy is losing, and it's like, bro, like that's how the story goes. Luffy loses a fight in the beginning. It's stronger as the fight progresses and then wins in the end. That's how it always is. But there's always those certain fans where it's like, oh my god, Luffy's losing. Kizaru's smoking that pack. Kizaru's smoking that Luffy pack, man. Y'all Luffy fans are fucking, y'all Luffy fans are done, man. Kizaru on top. And then next chapter, Luffy's butt fucking Kizaru, bro. It's
bro, see, like, it's just a back and forth. You got like, and like, you'll just see like for the next day, is Kizaru a fucking fraud? And then
bro, it's like y'all motherfuckers just can't let the fight go out, bro. Like holy shit.
See, like, the thing about Kizaru is, right, like you said, this fight isn't taken seriously. He doesn't take his shit very seriously. He's like, I gotta get the check, let me do what I gotta do. He's a cog in the machine, like he said. So him just being like, I guess I'll take out this Usopp guy. I got caught by Luffy. Oh, I gotta get away. Couldn't kill him, whatever. But I feel like he's either already determined, like, I'm probably not gonna get all these fucking I'm not gonna get all these people. I'm at least gonna try to get Vegapunk, but I'm probably not gonna get all the Straw Hats. Either he already knows that, or he's dead set on like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take them out. Because he really could, if you think about it. Like, in terms of his power, this is the light guy. So it's definitely 50-50 on how they want to take this.
This is how I see the fight going out. This is how it probably is going to go out, bro. I mean, this is One Piece, right? It could go two ways, but I don't see the second way actually actually happening. So the first way is Luffy. Well, three ways actually. The first way, Luffy absolutely beats Kizaru somehow, right? It's not a easy fight. Of course, he's an admiral, but Luffy gets the upper hand and temporarily incapacitates Kizaru. He's not finished. He's not done. He's not knocked out, but he gets incapacitated. Luffy gets that chance to escape, right? That's how I see it actually going out. The second one, how I don't really seeing it, is Luffy getting bodied by Kizaru.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Like, and it's like, the thing is, right, that wouldn't make any sense for the story narratively, because it'll still show that, wow, the Straw Hats can't even fight an admiral yet.
Not only that, but then you gotta think, it's like, okay, Kizaru's gonna take out Gear 5 Luffy. And then this is a little bit of like a situational thing. You could kind of say that then, okay, Kizaru's strong enough to take out Kaido.
And the
Take
thing
out
is, right?
Katakuri. Well, maybe I could say Katakuri, but
The
Kaido,
argument for that,
maybe.
the argument for this, right, that people are trying to make up is Kaido was severely fatigued when he was fighting Gear 5 Luffy, like severely fatigued. Like, you know, anybody could have taken him down if they were strong enough. You know, that's the narrative that they're trying to push with this, which I don't really believe, because the thing about that is, even if they were both fatigued. I mean, you literally saw Luffy mid battle hop out of Gear 5 because he was just so fatigued. He was literally dead 2 seconds ago, bro. You know, but they choose to ignore that, obviously. The thing is, Kaido said himself that like he is at his peak right now, you know, while he was fighting him in his drunken stage. The One Piece that was like 5 minutes ago before he transformed into Gear 5.
Exactly, and the thing is, I do agree that there is a power scaling issue in One Piece. I think that you can see that, like, with people saying that Ulti, because she clashed with Luffy, was on the same level, if not greater than Katakuri, which that's just not true. I think that we can kind of infer that that's not true.
Well, I mean,
However,
bro, Katakuri
it's really
haters.
just all done for dramatic effect.
I mean, bro, Katakuri haters are always gonna exist, bro. And people been calling Katakuri a fraud for like years now, bro.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change. But I mean, the thing is, I get why, because in the cover stories he was fighting, what's it called? Like, I think it was Pero Sparrow or something. He was fighting some fucking peon, and you know, he was not getting. I don't think he was getting his ass kicked, but you know, it was sort of an even fight. He was fighting some peon. I forgot who it was, bro. But at the same time, it's like that was right after he fought Luffy, because you could tell he still had his bandages on. Oh, he was still
Exactly.
recovering.
So, yeah, either Kizaru is put out of commission, or Straw Hats just escape. Then something I really don't want to see is I don't want to see Kizaru fails his mission, and because Saint J Garcia Saturn is there, Saturn just kills Kizaru and takes him out of the story. I don't want to see something like that. It's very kind of like generic. I think I could see Kizaru getting like punished, sent somewhere, kind of like Who's Who got punished for losing the gum fruit. Something maybe happening to Kizaru for failing his mission to kill Vegapunk. But I don't know if it would just be like, you know, Saturn's gonna show up, kill Kizaru, and then now the Straw Hat's gotta escape from a Gorosei. I don't think now is the time to fight a Gorosei, unless Oda has something planned with that.
I think this is how it's gonna go. I mean, Saint Saturn is there for a reason, right? And this is what I was saying. The third way is possibly how it's going to go. Kizaru loses to Luffy, incapacitates. He doesn't obviously lose yet, because you know I think they're all relative on that level of strength. See, he is a Yonko, right? So they're basically at almost an even level. So he incapacitates him temporarily. Like, you know how it is. Like, you know, Luffy knocks him out, sorta, but he isn't like knocked out. He's just like, oh man, gets up in like 2 minutes type shit. You know what I mean? Then Saint Saturn comes, and then he just does some absolutely crazy shit. Like, it's either he has like, and I think this is where they're going to sort of introduce advanced conquerors, what is it called, observation. They're going to introduce some sort of something like that, where it's like some new ability that we didn't know of, sort of like advanced conquerors hockey.
I do think that the Gorosei have some sort of like other form of hockey or ability that the whole world doesn't know about, because they specifically are the only ones who should be able, in their eyes, to learn it.
People at the top, like Whitebeard, Like not even people like Kaido have it. Like it's only people that oh man, connection. Only people like Shanks, Gorosei, Eam, and Luffy in the future, and Mihawk are gonna have. Like, and I think what that is a form of advanced observation, which would make sense
I
as the last
think
one that we have.
what it is that Grossa needed to have an edge over Luffy. They need to have a reason to actually be a threat than just these guys are super strong. So something like another form of hockey or this advanced conqueror's observation mix,
Because
something like that.
the thing is, right? We already got both advanced. We actually got more for ornament. Basically, advanced conquerors hockey is basically like advanced ornament in a sense, like advanced Rio, where you don't have to touch your opponent. It's basically something like that, just infused with conquerors hockey, right? So imagine infusing, what's it called? We already infused ornament. Imagine infusing observation with something like you can basically how they would do it. So we have future sight. I think there would be something like where you can basically toy with your opponent's emotions, kind of like mind games, like sort of like genjutsu, or in an example, where it's like basically how Mihawk did to Luffy in the Marineford arc, where he just glanced at him when Luffy was charging, and Luffy saw his future of his arms getting chopped off, and he stopped because of it. I think, and they emphasize that as well.
Okay, so to be fair, I do think wasn't that a scene where Luffy was running towards Mihawk and then Buggy got between them? Because you could kind of, if that was the case, I think that's what was happening. If that's the case, you can also argue that it was Luffy's observation hockey, like his latent observation hockey, seeing that happen and thinking that, oh, that's me. It could also be like a setup for something like that.
I think there was two scenes very similar, but I remember the scene where he was actually charging towards him with a Gum Gum bazooka, from what I remember, and he was about to hit it. Mihawk was standing still, and they emphasized on his eyes for some reason. And right before or after that, Luffy looked like shocked, and then we saw in his eyes, like if he continued to do that in his mind, where he saw like if he continued to shoot out the Gum Gum bazooka, his arms would have gotten chopped off, and he threw his arms into the ground instead of throwing them at Kizaru. Like in the moment, like he already had that shit charged up and ready to shoot at him. But when he saw it in that split second that his arms are gonna get chopped off, he threw it to the ground instead. And Mihawk didn't even attack him; he just looked at him. They emphasized in his eyes, and after that, sort of hinting like.
Even with Mihawk, I do think the eyes thing with the rings is something that will be explained later, especially since Eam has a similar thing with the rings in the eyes.
I was hoping that would be the case, but it's gotten to a point where a lot of
character designs, bro.
Yeah, a lot of characters have it where it would be like, why the fuck does he have it? Like that gas dude,
But I mean, you never know, because things like Sanji's eyebrow easily could have just been something.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, not a lot of people have it. It's only a Sanji like heritage thing.
Exactly.
It's only
Speaking
been
of which, this is a little off topic, but in the live action, I think if they did end up wanting to do the eyebrow, I have a good explanation for it, and that is since he hates his family, he often just shaves the eyebrow off.
Yeah.
Swirl. So it looks like he just has regular eyebrows. So if they ever wanted to still do that, and if anything, if they want to have the reveal of his family, something like a little flashback like that would make sense. But they'd have to pre-establish that he does something like that.
Yeah.
If they want to do it. But that's just a little side note, something I remembered that we said that. But yeah, so like character designs, either all of it is meaningful or none of it is. So you can never really tell what it is going for when it comes to them.
Mm-hmm.
It can all be very meaningful.
I think that's the whole point of it. Is just having that sort of feel to it.
Exactly.
But so we've
Okay,
talked
so
about
I think next, what we've
we've
got. Okay,
talked
so yeah, we got the Kizaru versus Luffy. We talked about. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about Bonnie.
oh yeah,
What's
she's a
going
little
on
girl.
here? Because I think so. I know that we've got like, oh, she's X age or whatever, but the fact that we keep seeing over and over again her being referred to as little girl, and
Yeah, she's a
especially from
girl.
someone like Vegapunk or Saturn, where they most likely know how her fruit works beyond what she does, or what we also believe, most definitely. Definitely a little
Hmm.
girl. Especially since when she was, sucked up in the water, they found her, she was in her little girl form. So you could argue that since the water doesn't really negate your abilities but weakens you and you can't move,
Hmm.
and like you can be moved type of stuff, like Luffy could still stretch under the water when he had to pull him up. Something like that.
Yeah,
Um
I think
but
those flashbacks of Kuma, those wasn't like years ago, bro. That shit happened like probably maybe I think her real age is probably around 12, maybe 10. So that probably those flashbacks probably happened like 5 years
I could
ago,
see
bro.
that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. What was I gonna say?
But it probably is more to it though.
She is just a very cool character. I do really like Jewelry Bonnie. Her ability is very good, very interesting.
Hmm.
Especially when she did we actually got to see her do the de-aging thing, and then I think it was your age turned into like physical jewels that you could manifest. And it was interesting because when we saw her age up Luffy, it was bad timeline. So where you can kind of look at it and say, okay, if Luffy hasn't achieved his dream yet, if he's aged up now, he's just gonna be in the bad timeline version that of Oda's drawings. So it kind of makes you think if at any point in time, are there other characters that exist now that have been de-aged by a previous user? Beasts like from the Void Century, something like that. I mean, we still don't really know how our fruit works. We don't know if like user were to die or to be in water would revert back to their age. Because from what I've seen, I think she actually has to nearly come up to them and fix it, kind of like Boa's petrification, something like that. So
Hmm.
we're gonna get more things revealed, which is always good. As we know that a lot of the things in the world of One Piece have to do with the Devil Fruits. I'm pretty sure Oda had said that, which I am kind of one of the people who believe that either Long Ring Longland is connected to Laugh Tale or at least connected to Joy Boy, because with all of the G things that were there, that Luffy's fruit is capable of impacting the environment and stretching things around. That I could definitely see that being a thing.
Yeah.
General, we still don't know much. Like the origins of Devil Fruits were quote revealed to us because this reading it was just Vegapunk's theory. I'm pretty sure it was just a theory that he had. It wasn't like dead set. This is what it was.
The thing is, the One Piece, it's so hard to predict. Every week there's a new theory that just makes it so difficult to actually think like, oh man, this could actually be it. Every
That's the
time
thing
it's like,
too. Like as much as I would love to make a very in-depth theory, there's only so far you can go before you're like, yeah, there's no way you could ever really tell unless you gotta sit there and go through every chapter again to build a case. And then if you can't build it, then you just you wasted a lot of time sitting there rereading it. Which maybe not a waste of time. It's One Piece, but definitely could have been doing something else in that time. but definitely a difficult thing to do. Make theories. I'm more surprised at the theory I had about the whole how the Vegapunk thing worked way back when we were first starting, and it was that he had a hive mind with different bodies, punks. And my theory though was more like each Vegapunk lab would have been managed by one of these satellites, which we know isn't true. However, I do think the idea is still there in a sense where Vegapunk has shared memories with the satellites, so it's like him referring to Mary-Joie was like, we've been to Mary-Joie. In reality, he really only means he has been to Mary-Joie. Know that the satellites have never left Egghead, though they have memories as if they did. Still aware that they never have.
Yeah.
So speaking of all of this, of Bonnie, of the satellites, Vegapunk, all that, where are we looking at with Straw Hats joining? Is Vegapunk joining the crew? Are all the Vegapunks joining the crew? Is Bonnie joining the crew? I think we can already kind of figure out that Vivi is joining the crew. She is on the crew already, so we're set with that. Yamato is probably just one where she's just gonna have to join later, protect Wano for a little bit. But
The thing
Bonnie
is, right,
and the Vegapunks, that's the question.
I don't see anybody joining the crew. I see them becoming honorary Straw Hats like Law, where he'd ride on the ship, right? Or he'd be a part of an arc. But he is his own separate person. I don't see any of the worst generation actually joining the Straw Hats, especially Bonnie, because she just doesn't have that charisma with them. She's like her own
I mean,
character.
she definitely gets along with Luffy well. I want to say.
The thing is, she
The
just
thing
really
is,
wouldn't.
didn't her crew just get wiped out too? I think that was either that was implied or it was stated. Her crew actually got wiped out. There's
I
also
see.
like there could be a reason for her to join. She has nothing.
It's just like she's just not as qualified for being a crew member, because it's like out of all the options where it's like Carrot, Yamato, especially Yamato, it's like Yamato fits the best in the crew. Like I can't really see Jewelry Bonnie just having a crew moment with the Straw Hats, bro. Sort of like how Yamato can, like just like the shower scene where everybody was just in the shower, you know, in the hot springs, just having a great time. I can't see Bonnie being a part of that because it's just like that's just not in her character.
Now, maybe not Straw Hats, but the way I see it is, like I said, having nothing left, but also like everyone's on the run from the world government for secrets involving the Void Century, stuff like that. So, for example, Vegapunks, is it really safe for them to be anywhere other than with the Straw Hats unless Vegapunk has like a safe house that he plans on getting to? They're gonna go to Elbaf, we know that, but who's to say Elbaf isn't gonna be safe? I can see something where it's like, okay, Vegapunk's gonna stay on Elbaf, but then even maybe Elbaf gets destroyed from the Mother Flame just to like prove a point, like this is the real deal. Like we're in Elbaf, but it's fucking gone now. Something like that. I mean, I don't know.
I think what's gonna happen in Elbaf, sort of similar to what you said. The thing is, they're gonna try to use the Mother Flame on them, but Elbaf is known as the war country. They have the strongest military force in the world. And just look at Big Mom herself. She's just a giant. Really, her power really just comes from her being a giant from Elbaf. These guys are not to deal with, not to play with. I can see Eam trying to use the Mother Flame on them, and then the Mother Flame just absolutely gets destroyed, and that's when we finally see what it actually is. The people of Elbaf are just gonna straight up be like, man, what the fuck is this? Because not only do I think that their military is good, I think that their defense system is top notch as well. And they're just gonna have a crazy ass defense system. For sky defense, for fucking. It's gonna be a crazy country, bro. And I think what it is that the Loki guy, I haven't heard much from him. We really haven't heard much from him, but I don't think he's going to be a major villain. Sort of similar to how Vegapunk is. but I think he's going to be connected to the Void Century, and that's why they're going to try to. That's why. What's it called? Elbath is probably so cherished and so well tight knit, is because that man probably existed during that time. And that's probably why the world government would probably want to try and take it down as well.
Yeah, I am very interested to see what the direction and what the plan with Loki is, because he is such a character that is shrouded in mystery. I don't think he's gonna look like what his silhouette was, because as we know, you
Look at
can't take the
Vegapunk, bro.
silhouettes. Yeah, Vegapunk definitely changed.
Holy
Actually,
shit.
not. If you look at like the first one of the first silhouettes of him, you can kind of see like the big head, and we knew that ended up being true. He had a huge head because of his
The
devil
thing,
fruit.
well, the first
So-
thing we saw, man, was him being a super tall motherfucker, bro. You know, just him being some tall ass dude.
Yeah, so yeah, the that one, but the more the face silhouette from Punk Hazard in that flashback was it kind of looks like how we see him now, which is good.
I gotta relook at it. I remember just seeing the Vegapunk where he was super tall, and I think that's probably the thing about Oda is I think he probably has these first designs in mind where it's like, oh man, I'm gonna make this a super serious character, but then he realizes he's Oda, and it's like, you know what, bro? Let me just change the direction of it.
Exactly. Like, what did we really expect Vegapunk to look like? Let's be real. Like, I don't think anyone could have really had a set look for him. He looks like Albert Einstein. There you go.
I just think I wasn't really expecting it, only because like even in that first silhouette behind the Kuma, just doesn't make any sense why he's that tall.
Yeah, that silhouette doesn't look, but you could just argue he's standing on a chair. But he just looked skinny in that picture, though. Is the only thing.
Bro, it's just like
Pretty
even then,
lanky.
they're like a pacifista, bro. Them dudes are tall as shit. Even if he was standing on a chair, bro, like you gotta like the pacifistas are tall, like they're very big. And him even towering over that, you would think that this dude was like Katakuri height, bro, or just something.
Yeah, man. I think it's just a matter of there's no clear plan at the time, but there is. He had a silhouette, ready to be shown. Wasn't a plan for how he was gonna look. So here, let's just show his hands and let's show him standing, something like that. We're gonna go into the final topic, which is the live action once again. Briefly covered other things aside from just how good the first season was and a lot of the key beats from that. We're really gonna talk about what season 2 is looking like and how we're gonna handle certain characters. So, for example, Bon Clay, we know it's a queer character. That's like the whole thing. We know how exactly, and we could talk about New Kama Land when they get to that point. But is this going to be something they're going to tone down because it can be seen as like a mockery of cross-dressing? Because if you ask a One Piece fan who has really watched the show, I'm gonna tell you Bon Clay is the GOAT. You're gonna hear that from a lot of people. So how are they gonna translate it? Make him likable, make him not annoying, because that's very important. He can't be annoying. I think he can be a funny annoying, but they really can't overdo it. And they got to be very careful in how they do it.
Yeah. I can see them nailing Bon Clay. I mean, it's really not that hard to find somebody that has that pizzazz to them.
Yeah, I think that the casting will be easy. Just not gonna be Jim Carrey, bro. Not gonna be an A-list act. I don't want anybody. No A-list actors in One Piece. None. Just it will kill the vibe of the show. It will feel corporate at that point. I'm not even just saying this as like a complaining, not liking A-list celebrities, which I really don't. Not even just that. Come on. Jason Momoa is not gonna be fucking Kaido. Shouldn't be Eminem. Jim Carrey shouldn't be Bon Clay. Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger should not be Garp. Ezra Miller shouldn't be Luffy.
Oh my god, hell no.
It's just
Ezra Miller was Luffy, bro. I wouldn't watch the live action at all.
it's terrible, bro. Because these people, it's like, I get it. Where it's like, oh, these are the actors that I know, so I'm just gonna, I'll cast them. Or it's definitely they didn't think about it very hard, and they're just like, oh, he kind of looks like him. There you go. See, here's the thing. It's more than just looks. Yes, Adam Sandler could maybe look like Kizaru, but Kizaru is not based off of Adam Sandler. Emeralds are based off of old Yakuza, like movie guys. They're not based off of any American celebrities. A lot of people forget that. And I get like the vibe Kizaru gives is the I don't give a fuck, which is a very Adam Sandler vibe, but that's not casting. I'm sorry, it's just not. For this role, you can find some pretty good roles for this. If you really think about it, we got pretty lucky. Like Mihawk was excellent, Shanks was amazing, which the Shanks hate that he got so unwarranted, because in that one little frame, God forbid that a alcoholic looks like an a pirate alcoholic looks like a dirty pirate alcoholic. God forbid he looked like shit in one little scene, bro.
And the thing is,
one little angle. Like, not everyone is gonna look good.
Like, this is pre-time skip design too. Like, he looks just like how he did it pre-time skip, bro. Fucking bum.
He looks dirty, bro.
He's not sexy ass Shanks, bro. Like in pre-time skip, bro. Not pre-time skip, post-time skip. Pre-time skip Shanks is just a.
I just want to say overall, casting was just great, all across the board. I think everyone nailed it. They were doing, except for one. Except for one. That's not Ben Beckman, bro. I'm not trying to give any hate to the actor, but that's not Ben Beckman.
Yeah, that ain't Ben Beckman.
Like, pirates in real life, it's probably, like, in real life, Ben Beckman probably wouldn't be a super jacked, tall, he'd probably still be tall, but not like a super jacked dude. I get it, but this is One Piece, because then you could also make the argument that Shanks shouldn't look as good as he does, but this dude is just like a random dude who's just barely looking like Ben Beckman. Like, he's got black shirt and a little
doesn't barely look like him, bro.
Wrap. He had the guns, and he's definitely not a jacked fucking dude.
Don't even need to make
him. It's not like Ben Beckman had to have an insane physique. Just make him tall and just look like menacing.
Yeah, bro.
That's just not the vibe I got from this Ben Beckman.
He looked like a Pirates of the Caribbean extra. That's how he looked. Like, that's just how he looked.
When I saw that clip get leaked where he comes up to Shanks and he's talking, this is when Luffy heads onto the boat in that episode. I didn't think that was him. I was like, there's no way that's him. It looks like the hair, I see the outfit. There's no way that's him. That just has to be some guy on Shanks' crew. Lo and behold, it's him. When we're actually watching it, and I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, that was the only real casting miss.
Yeah, only real miss.
Even Arlong, bro, holy shit, was I fucking impressed, because when the trailer released and when we got some images, he didn't look like a very big menacing dude. When you're actually watching it, you see him like up close on the screen. He looks fucking massive. He looks pretty realistic for what you would think in it. He looks great. The performance was amazing. There was some funny scenes with some of the dialogue, but it was great casting overall. The Fishman looked amazing. Hachi, I think he was in it, but just no speaking role. Mm-hmm. Because there is like a Fishman that kind of looks like that, but it didn't look like an octopus, right? I know obviously that would have been a lot of CGI to do to make it look good. They probably just didn't want to run that risk, but not too bad of a cut, especially if assuming we're not even gonna get to the Fishman Island or the the Sabaody part of the story. Of course, like they're not assuming they're gonna get there, so they can still do it because they can still just make it like, oh, he was part of Arlong's crew. Should we trust him? Not, oh, we fought this guy. Should we trust him? You know what I mean? They can still make it work. Like they can have Nami be like, oh, this guy was on Arlong's crew. I don't know if we can trust him. Type of shit. So, if anything, talking about the cuts specifically, and then we're gonna get into season 2 and what will be cut in that in a bit. Like I said last time, they cut out Usopp saving the village, which I did not like. But however, everything else that was cut out of Syrup Village, I think really helped it. I honestly prefer almost this version of it because they made it like a trapped in the mansion trying to get away from Kuro. I think that was very good. But yeah, I think just having Usopp not sacrifice himself or like his reputation, which he didn't have a good one, but saying that I don't want them to know I saved them, I want them to think it was a lie, because I don't want them to worry about pirates, ever being here or coming back like that. Because Usopp overall, he didn't really do a whole lot in this live action. He did this coward stuff. He had a lot of dialogue, but he didn't do a whole lot, and that's fine. He doesn't really need to. It did suck seeing that get cut. So we're talking about cuts. We're talking about season 2. Like we said, the Vivi scene last time. Will that be cut? I don't think it should be because of the context of that scene. But I think they might tone it down. Because in this scene, Vivi slaps Luffy really hard, and it's kind of dramatic. Like she slaps him, and then he goes flying to the ground, and then he gets back up and punches her. I think it could just be like he slaps Luffy, but instead of fighting back, maybe he starts arguing with her, or he does that thing where he just goes silent and starts. And he's still gonna do where he sits down and says, "No, we're not moving. We're still gonna see that." I would hope that he would still kind of like fight back because that's just how Luffy is, but they probably don't want to show your star character hitting a woman.
I think they're gonna go with it, bro. I mean, the thing is, this is Oda's story, bro. This isn't,
Exactly.
They tried, but at the end of the day, this is Oda's story, and I think he's going to actually implement that because that's something that
I want to see it. I don't just want to see Vivi get punched, but I just want to see them like commit to like this is Luffy, bro. We know that he doesn't do any of this because he has any negative feelings towards women, or he doesn't. We know he's not racist. We know all he cares about is freedom, meat, and becoming the Pirate King, and whatever his other dream is that we still don't fucking know. Like, I don't know how we're supposed to tell that to new fans as well, but yeah, we still don't know. But
yeah, we don't know his actual dream.
It's just a matter of if they're just gonna trust in Luffy's character. They have to really trust in his character to not piss their audience off, because their target audience, while it is fans, it's also gonna have to be a lot of newcomers. So you don't want to lose those people, because yes, there's a lot of One Piece fans, but if people who aren't already pre-established, like the people who are on board because of the live action, you want them to stick around so we can keep going, because they can want to do 12 seasons because they want to do 12 seasons. But if they don't get renewed, they still have to get renewed, right? So it's not just, okay, we're going to do 12 seasons. No. You still have to do good and get that time of viewership. Which, I mean, if anything, bro, like, this is going to carry Netflix if it is really good, and they do carry it for very long. It will carry Netflix. Because to be honest, bro, there's just a whole lot of slop on there. They can keep the quality consistent with One Piece, then it will be the best thing on there. Like I said, so they just gotta stay consistent, stay true to the characters, don't make changes that aren't necessary, and be smart. So speaking of which, we're headed into the Alabasta saga, right? Where we're going into the Grand Line. So question really is are we still going to get 8 episodes, or when it's renewed, is this going to be expanded to 10 or 12? Because I think that the Alabasta Saga needs about 10 or 12.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, right? The Alabasta Saga, really, majority of it was just them walking around the desert. You know, then you got introduced to Ace. He did that little cool boat thing, and then you destroyed the boat. I think they could compress it down into 8 episodes if they really wanted to for the Alabasta arc. Because after that, it's just like, all right, we gotta find this. I honestly forgot the whole storyline of Alabasta, like what they were doing.
Because you start at Whiskey Peak, right? And then we go to Little Garden, and we go to Drum Island to get Chopper. See, that's the thing. A lot of people, yes, this is the Chopper season, but also this season could even end if it's not as long as we think it is, and they actually take time with Whiskey Peak and Little Garden and stuff like that. It could end like right after they get Chopper. Probably won't. I think it will be Alabasta, but that's a possibility. But they gotta realize like Chopper is gonna have to be just one whole episode. As much as I believe Chopper is deserving of 2, it might just have to be 1.
And the thing is, right, I think right now we're basing it off of the anime pacing, because, the anime pacing, that whole arc was like 15, 25 episodes. They compressed the whole East Blue down, basically the whole East Blue up until, like, what, Buggy?
All of East Blue for about 8 hours total. Not bad, because every episode is about an hour.
I mean, they compressed all the way up to Buggy's arc in like 1 episode, and a lot of the scenes was sort of like live action filler, but like not necessarily live action filler.
Speaking of like those scenes where you could say maybe filler, I like that they actually took time to have the crew dynamic, actually show them interacting on the boat. We really don't get to see that. It's all about moving to the next place and fighting the big bad. It is really just a matter of where this story is going. Crocodile, sure, he's going to be handled well, but Rokeworks is most likely going to be handled well. I mean, they already established it this season with Zoro taking out Mr. 7. I think they're confident in this, and if they're confident in it, then I am. I like, so there is an end credit scene for the series. I don't know if you've seen it, but Gert was shown at the end that he's going after Luffy. Why, we know Smoker is reminded of Roger when he sees Luffy and how he acts. So yeah, and I forgot to mention, we still gotta go to Logtown, and I've seen people say Logtown should get cut. You can't cut Logtown.
Logtown is realistically, bro. I think Logtown is gonna be 1 episode.
That's Dragon. That's Smoker. That's Buggy shows up again.
Logtown.
Alvita shows up too.
It's gonna be like 1 episode, bro. I mean, because a lot of Logtown, bro, some of that shit was just like filler shit, bro. Like the whole Usopp sniper thing. They don't have to add that Big Daddy nigga. They don't have to add fucking. They don't have to add that. They can actually. They can add that part.
Every time I think about it, and I think about there's another thing, bro. Still got it's Reverse Mountain, right? First, and they meet Laboon as well, right? Or Grand Line.
This all could.
So they got shit, dude. Yeah, they got a lot, but I think you could probably get. Let's go in. We're headed to the Grand Line. Let's get in. That boom, Reverse Mountain. Boom, Laboon. Whiskey Peak. End of episode 1. Oh wait, no. Alright. You go Grand Line, Logtown, Whiskey Peak, end of episode 1. Because you really just speed through a lot of this stuff.
They can, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm not worried about the pacing, because we saw how great their pacing was. It didn't even feel rushed, because like a lot of it was sort of manga accurate, where it's like the whole East Blue saga basically happened in 1 day. Luffy met Zoro in like an hour from Kobe. All that crazy shit. A lot of that shit really all happened in like a day and a half. Oro fought Mihawk the same day he fought Arlong and shit. Not even like an hour apart.
It is all very crazy, and the pacing was very excellent with the live action, and they definitely made One Piece feel like a more complete, coherent story in the beginning when we had some pacing issues, like taking too long for like you said, few day things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, bro, Dressrosa, that arc lasted 10 hours in real life, bro. Real time. In One Piece time, bro. 10 hours.
Yeah.
The arc was fucking 60 episodes of a 10-hour day. One day. 60 episodes. A whole arc in one
Wasn't
day.
it more than that, bro? I thought it was a lot, bro.
Like,
It
it makes you think. It's like, bro, and you realize, like, yo, these motherfuckers haven't even went to bed yet. It hasn't even been nighttime. It's been daytime for 30 damn episodes. 30 episodes has been daytime. Like,
exactly, bro. So it's
just
it's just a whole lot of shit.
And that's why I'm not worried, bro. I'm like, I know for a fact. All of this shit,
like, damn, this is taking so long, but they got it, bro. I really think they got it.
And that's why I'm not worried.
The bag.
Bro. I know for a fact they're gonna nail season 2 too, even with the pacing, because it's like, bro, they have source material to fault, like they have something to look back on, like, all right, this is how we did it this way, to improve it this way. They can skip certain things, bro, certain aspects. So the thing is, right, about live action and stuff that they already skipped is that this is its own story, you know. We aren't going to see One Piece live action till the end of the series. We're not going to see that, bro. So it's like, if they wanted to, they can skip Laboon, because we're not going to see Brook. Probably.
I mean, they want to get to that, so I mean, they might. I feel like you can't skip Laboon though.
Well, you can't skip. I'm just saying
it's a good. Not spend too much time on it.
And that's for an example. Like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, Laboon can realistically be like half an episode, bro. They meet him. They don't even have to go through all that crazy shit. They go inside him. Wow, this is cool. They meet that door. Then they see the old Roger Crew pirate. Like, hey, how's it going? I'm here to meet you guys. Blah blah blah. Here's the map to fucking, you know, the Grand Line or whatever the fuck he was saying. Laboon spits them out. They make that promise. Boom, they're out. Like 25-30 minutes after meeting Laboon. Then that's half that episode. Then we go towards Verse Mountain or Whiskey Peak.
I think it's Reverse Mountain. Maybe it's after they it's either before they head up or just right after they get down from Reverse Mountain. It's so long ago, but
one day
they can get a lot of the shit out of the way.
Like Reverse Mountain, realistically, I mean, bro, that's the Laboon arc. That's just them going to up the thing. That can happen literally right after or before, wherever. I don't remember the chronological order, but right after or before that shit. Then they had the Whiskey Peak, which can be half of that episode itself. I'm not sure about the whole, what's it called? I'm not sure about the whole chronological thing. It's been a while since I've rewatched One Piece, but yeah.
Yeah, man, it's.
And that's what I'm saying.
All just a matter of what they want to do, and I'm sure they'll do the right thing.
Let's say this, bro. Logtown, first episode, bro. They head towards Logtown, boom. They make it there. You know, that can be one episode. Logtown can be a whole episode, bro. One episode out the way, we still have, 7 left, 8 left. If they decide to keep the same thing, 7 left, right? Boom. Second episode, they've obviously escaped Logtown, and they're on the way towards Reverse Mountain. They head up Reverse Mountain, head down, meet Laboon. Way there, we go through the Laboon thing, and then he sends us to our way to Whiskey Peak. Then not Whiskey Peak, yeah, Whiskey Peak. Whiskey Peak ends in that episode, and they could probably even skip it too, if you want to be real. Whiskey Peak ends in that episode or whatever.
Yeah, Whiskey Peak. I mean, they shouldn't skip it, but they can definitely make it like a good 20 minutes.
They can make that 10 minutes, bro. They have this nice banquet. It could be like a super quick thing, 10 minutes, bro. Oh man, we're all cool. Yeah, we all like you. Oh, and then they go to sleep, realize that they're fake pirates. They beat them up, have this cool quick fight scene. It's like, all right, guys, we need to get out of here. Marines are on the way. Right? They can retcon that. Smoker's still on his ass. The Marines are on the way. We see their ships incoming, and then we look while we're all going out the other direction. We see like Robin or something, or like Miss All Sunday, which is like Vivi. We meet her there. She tells us she's a princess of Alabama.
Yeah, Miss All Sunday's Robin. Vivi, I forgot who fucking Vivi was. Wasn't she like Miss Wednesday or something like that? Yeah. Shit, like that. But yeah, but Vivi, there's just gotta be a reason. So wait, are you saying like Vivi shouldn't go with them at Whiskey Peak? Like it should be later?
I'm saying she can, and that's what I'm saying. Like that makes a whole lot of sense. They can actually make all this work. Like even then in this order, thinking about how the One Piece live action did it. This is like episode 3, bro. We still have like 4, like 4 or 5 more left in the actual.
That's assuming it's only order.
And that's assuming it's 8.
Yeah.
They can cover Alabasta so quickly because we don't have to worry about all the other long scenes with the anime pacing. Like we can go there, right? Everybody's changing into their new outfits. Boom, that takes like 5 minutes. Then we're like, all right, we know how they are, split up. Luffy gets in trouble. Then we meet Ace. Luffy gets in trouble, right? They can actually on the episode where they actually get to Alabasta, right? Where it's like the end of the episode, they can show Ace like, hey, have you seen this guy? It's like Luffy, boom, Ace's brother.
I think what they'll do is they might even show like Ace cover story, bro. They might show his cover story and adapt it in a sense like you might see like Ace like just from behind asking people, have you seen Luffy? And then eventually they'll meet up, kind of like in the anime where it was like they kept passing each other barely, and then they'll meet up, and then it will be revealed that Ace is Ace and he is Luffy's older brother, and it'll be. I mean, I feel like the new fans are gonna love it. Ace is definitely gonna be a fan favorite, especially if they do him justice, which I'm sure they will. They really can't afford to not. They can't miss the Ace casting, bro. They really can't. We'll never hear the end of it if they do.
The thing is, right? They can cover all of that by episode 5, right? And then that's when real Alabasta comes in, where it's like, all right, this is where the big show comes in. Crocodile, main villain. Episode 6, Luffy is losing the crocodile for the first time. Boom, Luffy comes back at the end of episode 6. Like the water shit. The loses again. Episode 7 is like the episode where he's just looking for the road poneglyph. I think that's what it was. No, Robin betrays him. Then they have this whole emotional scene. Luffy comes back at the end, starts fighting him. Boom, that's that whole episode. Half the episode is them fighting. Luffy finally beats him in the end. And then it's gonna be the after Alabasta saga where we have Chopper as a part of the crew, Zoro, Robin, all these heading into into the place that we're at right now.
Oh yeah, we gotta do Waters. Oh nope, no, because they get Robin.
Yeah, they get Robin and then they head to Water 7.
They head to Water 7, but they stop at Jaya and do the Sky Island, right? Because Frankie isn't in the crew at that. You see, usually I just remember by who's on the crew at what point. So we know that Frankie hadn't joined by that point, so they can't have gone to Water 7 yet.
And that's the thing, right?
Sky Island, I believe, after that.
It is Skyline. It is
Jaya and Sky.
But we don't
in the live action, they've already set up Jaya and Sky Island and Noland. They already set those characters up.
We don't even need a Nolan flashback, bro. That whole thing, we don't even need. We're probably not gonna get that. Anyway.
Nami actually read the story of Nolan to Zoro while he got passed out from fighting Mihawk. So if anything, can go back to it.
I think we're gonna
really
have a
need to show it.
But I don't think there's gonna be like an episode where it's like Nolan whole flashback, because that's just gonna kind of waste an episode. Like we don't really need to see that. It is significant to the story, but they can just have like, if it is a flashback, it could be like a 15-minute flashback.
I would just like to see like they do it and it's like a little kind of like animation on the book pages.
Yeah,
it's
sort
just
of
like
that.
pictures kind of moving, and it's like this is the story of Nolan. You don't really got to show him at all. They can maybe when we actually get into Skypiea, you can see what he actually looked like. But in terms of telling his story, no.
And the thing is, right, we have that in the anime because, you know, obviously it's a One Piece anime and manga, but that is it's supposed to be there because we know a lot about Roger's story at that time, you know. We don't know a lot about him, but we know that, you know, there are very similarities between Nolan and Roger, and that's what it's there for. It's to show that, you know, Roger died smiling, Nolan died crying, showing that he wasn't a member of the D clan.
It
is
is
the same thing.
It's really one of those things, bro. We're really again gonna have to see when we get there, because we like, bro. Think that we'd be even considering a Skypiea live action is insane.
That'll be season 3, bro. And the thing is, like, it wouldn't make any sense for them to be like, all right, let's pick up Chopper. Season 2 is ending now. They need to capitalize on that Alabasta hype, because that's where. You know,
unless they do like midway Alabasta or like beginning ends, and then all of season 3 is Alabasta. I've seen a lot of people say that. I could see it working, but it would just feel so abrupt.
The thing is, it just wouldn't work because that's more time spent hyping up Alabasta when it would work so much better for it in just the second season. Because the thing is, like, you know, for newcomers as well, when they hear Alabasta, and for anime watchers, it's like, all right, we're gonna get the Alabasta arc. This is something we can look forward to. I mean, like, at the end of the day, even for the manga readers, it's like, bro, if it ends at Chopper, it's like that's not even a very good ending for like the live action season 2, if you really think about it. Because then we're gonna have to wait 3 more years to actually get to the good part. Not 3 more, but like another year and a half, maybe 2 more years to get to the actual good part, where it's like, all right, we're actually gonna see the whole Alabasta arc, when it probably could have been done in season 2 had they not just had a long ass Chopper arc, which they don't really need, because Chopper's villain isn't even that important to the series at all. Well, he's not.
Well, now he is, but
well, I mean,
for the most part,
he is now, but it's not like he's not a crucial.
That's like, it's not something that's ever going to be at least. I don't want to say never, but most likely never going to be adapted.
It's never going to be adapted. And that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody knows Chopper's villain as like, oh my god, this is a great villain. I guarantee you, if we ended like, it's not like Arlong where it's like, oh man, this guy's a good ass villain. I feel satisfied. I don't think there's any way of, you know, making him a serious villain.
He will be a joke character, bro.
Yeah, to the point where we're satisfied at the end of the final fight with Luffy versus him, which wasn't even that much of a fight to begin with, bro. If you really think about it, Luffy really didn't have that much struggle like he did with Arlong. Really just was like, he was trying to prove a point to Chopper, you know, that crew is something that people like, there are other people that care about him type shit. That's why he let that fight go out.
It's gonna be simple, the fight just for a message, and that's it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, like, they can have Chopper's arc in one episode, like the whole episode. Beginning of it, he's climbing the thing, right? He's like, oh man, this is cold. Chopper picks him up. We meet Chopper, we meet Kureha, have a nice fun laugh, right? Don't even really need that much of Chopper's backstory to really begin with, which we can get. It can at most.
I think we will get it, but it might not be as just straight up.
Or it can be something like how Zoro's was, where it was overtime. Like they would show another scene.
I think Chopper's overtime works a lot better than just showing it.
And then
because they want to show it like, here's this animal, little creature that can shapeshift. What's up with that? Leave that to be shown later. Oh, he ate the human fruit. That makes sense. Something like that.
The Alabasta arc, they can change it completely too. It's like we're thinking about this in the anime sort of pacing way, or in the anime story way, where like we've seen in the live action that they change things completely. You know, like we've seen like bro, Garp is like Luffy basically met Garp way before the Water 7. You know,
Yep.
they're prone to change. They're very prone to change. That's what I'm saying. Like they can change things up completely for Chopper's arc. Like, you know, and we can get through that in basically like a full episode. And Whiskey Peak, it can be like a joke thing. Like we meet this cool pirates on the way to there, and they're like, "Oh man, let's go, let's have this huge party." Luffy falls for it. They try robbing him, and then Luffy just beats the shit out of them. You know, and it's just like this little gag. It's not even like nobody there is important besides like Vivi, where she gets caught in the mess, and then boom, that's where we're on the way to what's it called? That's when we're on the way to Chopper, and Nami gets sick somehow, which could have been from the food at that banquet. Boom.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There we go, all in one episode. Nami finds her sickness because they poisoned them. They tried to poison them, you know. But Luffy has a devil fruit, and Zoro refused to eat. Usopp, you know, he was just asleep. Probably he was exhausted or something. Nami decided to eat some of the food that they poisoned. Now she got sick. Boom, we had the Chopper. We get her fine. We get her good. You know, all in one episode. We meet that villain. By the end of that episode, next episode is basically the end of Chopper's arc. We're in the halfway mark. We get his backstory. Luffy defeats that dude. Chopper joins the crew. We leave. Boom. And it's like we don't even need to have that extra, like we've seen in the anime. We don't even need to have that, not anime, the live action. We don't even need to have that transition period of them leaving the arc. You know, they can just skip to the end, sort of like how they did with Captain Morgan. You know, we didn't have that whole goodbye ceremony or anything, or we didn't have that Luffy punching Kobe thing and making him stay. Kobe was like, "You want to know what? This is my own path. I want to stay." Luffy was like, "All right, let's go, guys." Boom. You know.
Exactly. It's just easy, bro.
And they can make it work. All in all, I think they can make season 2 work for Alabasta. It can end as soon as Alabasta, or you know, the bird guy can probably actually die this time and not just survive a fucking nuclear blast. Yo, bro, I still can't get away with that.
I mean, not even that, bro. Didn't fucking Robin snap his neck the first time, bro? I remember when that happened. I was like, he's fucking dead.
He refuses to die.
They killed Mary, which I think having Mary die is good. Doesn't really need to be alive, of course. It makes the going Mary burning more meaningful.
Oh man, we could probably end it there. That was after Alabasta, right?
It was after his lobby.
Oh yeah, yes. So yeah, okay, we're not gonna see that
because Frankie had to build the new shit. But yeah, but still, I mean, just in general, killing characters that probably should have died isn't as big of a deal as we probably think it is. So it's excellent. But I think that's it, man. I think that's an episode right there. It's a good podcast episode. We covered pretty much everything, so I think we're all set. Unless you got any other closing comments?
Not right now, no closing comments for real. But only thing I really have to say is, you know, very good coming back. Very good having nice, natural discussions. As you guys can see, if you guys made it to the end of the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and comment. We really appreciate you guys. We've seen a couple of y'all on the first episode, and one person commented. So we're starting to gain some traction, hopefully soon. We just got to keep posting. We're going to we're thinking about starting some merch, some clothing lines. We got some awesome merch. It's not just going to be like some basic ass anime merch coming out. We're going to actually have some pretty cool designs on there. And just
it is beyond just Wanted Podcast. It's not just something that shit says Wanted Podcast. It is just its own little thing. It's ours, which is, you know, why we promote it, but it's its own little thing. It'll be very sick looking, taking our time with the designs, so it'll be maybe a while, but will be sick. It will not just be a blown up JPEG on a white t-shirt.
Exactly, man. And that's the whole point of the podcast, you know. None of this is scripted. Like, if you guys really think about it and watch the show, only thing we sort of prepare for is just the topics we talk about, and even then we still diverge just have a normal conversation. We're not like every other podcast where everything is just scripted, no, and everything is just a little robotic. There's gonna be times where we divert.
Everything has to go a certain way, and then if you divert, it's got to immediately get back on track. But
that's our goal.
It's not to knock, but
we just want to have a podcast where it's like you guys can feel like you're in the conversation as well. It's not like, all right, next topic, boom, 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 boom. Well, that's cool. Next topic, boom, 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 boom. It's like, all right, what about this topic? Well, this thing is similar. Let's talk about that. Oh man, I have a couple opinions on that. Oh man, we kind of disagree with this, and then we all come to an agreement at the end. Sort of like that. Like you guys, we want you guys to feel in the conversation. That's the whole goal of the podcast. That's the whole goal of the Wanted podcast. And in the future, I hope to get a loyal fan base. We can even invite fans onto the podcast, have more discussions, have like group discussions about the future of One Piece and stuff like that. Just overall have a very engaging fan base. We would absolutely appreciate you guys if you comment and follow, and we do so much for y'all, man.
The future's looking bright. This will be a good channel as we improve the quality. Obviously, it's very now we're janky, as in we got some kinks to work out, but it is what it is. This is a real, just two dudes. This isn't just some studio sponsored startup. This is just the basic recording feature on Discord, filming a podcast. So it's nothing crazy. It's real shit. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in episode 3 whenever that drops. But this has been episode 2 of the comeback saga of the Wanted podcast, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.